or less. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of May 1st, Wednesday. I'm Riza Diaz. We're kicking off today's rush over at Welcome Rotonda, where members of the Akbayan are gathering together for their Labor Day protest. Now, for the group, Labor Day is also a day of victory, as implementing rules and regulations for the expanded maternity leave law is set to be released today. Dindo Flora is on the ground to give us an update. Dindo, kamustang sitwasyon dyan?
Risa, maagang ang pumwesto ang nasa mahigit 50 pulis dito sa paligid ng Welcome Rotonda. Ito'y kasabay na rin na may kinakasang kilos protesta ngayong araw na may kaugnayan sa pangdaigdigang araw ng paggawa. Sa katunayan, Risa, bago mag-alas 6 ngayong umaga ay dumating na rito ang nasa mahigit 30 kababaihan ng mga miyembro ng Grupo Akbayan. Ipagdiriwang ng grupo ang paglabas ng Implementing Rules and Guidelines o IRR para sa Expanded Maternity Leave Law matapos itong isabatas noong nakarang buwan ng Pebrero ngayong taon. Base kasi sa Expanded Maternity Leave, mula sa 60 araw ay gagawin na itong 105 days na maternity leave at karagdagang 15 days para sa mga single parents. Kaugnay nito, nagbabala naman si Akbayan Congressman Tom Villar laban sa mga employers na iiwas sa pagtanggap ng mga manggagawang mga babae dahil sa panibagong benepisyong ibibigay sa kanila. Patuloy rin ang panawagan ng Grupo Akbayan sa pagbasura sa contractualization at pagsulong ng security of tenure sa mga manggagawa. Risa, bukod naman sa grupong Akbayan ay inaasahan din ang pagdagsa ng iba't ibang militanteng grupo na sasabay nga dito sa mga kilos protesta dahil na rin sa Labor Day. Inaasahan naman na patuloy naman ang monitoring ng kapulisan para maiwasan ang kaguluhan sa lugar. Riza?
Thank you. That was Dindo Flora reporting from Mendiola. Now, here are some of the biggest stories from the dailies. From the Philippine Star, an additional 13.5 million graduates will be joining the country's workforce this summer. With this, lawmakers are urging both the Education Department and the Commission on Higher Education to coordinate with the Labor Department to make sure that there are enough jobs or enough opening jobs for fresh grads. Meanwhile, Filipino Star ngayon reports that Malacanang is leaving the decision on the wage hike petitions to the regional boards. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo says increasing workers' pay would depend on prevailing conditions in a region. And regarding Labor Day protests today, the administration says it remains unfazed. And today's banner photo of the Freeman Banat News shows a clash between the police and protesters. But that's just a practice of PNP Region 7 for a possible violent dispersal in today's Labor Day protests. Now, those who will be joining today's Labor Day protests should brace for a hot summer weather. That's as heat indices may again reach around 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, particularly in Luzon. Contributing to that hot and humid weather is the easterly winds, which may also bring some showers over parts of Bicol, Visayas, and Mindanao. However, Pag-asa says weather throughout the country will still be generally fair, with some chances of isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Now, several Maynilad customers are now experiencing rotational water service interruptions. That could last up to 22 hours. But it's not just due to the hot weather, nor the dipping water level in Angat Dam. Shaila Francisco will tell us more.
Algae now cover most parts of Laguna Lake in Muntinlupa since the second half of April. The unusual algal bloom was due to pollution and the warmer temperatures brought by the weak El Nino. Problem is, the algae go into Maynilad's 2 treatment plants as the firm sources water from the lake. Maynilad then has to double efforts to clean its facilities, resulting in reduced production.
Kasi sa ngayon po, marami talagang tubig sa Laguna Lake. Kaya lang ang problema, yung quality na nare-receive ng planta. Sa ngayon, masyadong matagal yung nangyari. Habang maraming pumapasok na impurities, mas maraming dumi yung naiipon doon sa filter. So pag dumadami yung dumi, dumadami yung mga nagpapabara, dumadalas yung linis.
Maynilad estimates 70% of its production have been affected. To maximize supply, it has started implementing water interruptions on customers in the southern part of its concession area.
Residents here in Las Piñas, as well as in Muntinlupa, Parañaque, and Cavite, will experience low water pressure to no water supply until May 14. According to Maynilad, the water interruption will last for 15 to 22 hours daily.
Around 170,000 households are affected by the interruptions.
More or less, mga nasa, i-times natin sa 5 person per household, yun yung mga naapektuhan.
Customers, meanwhile, were surprised by the development. In this laundry shop in Muntinlupa, unwashed clothes from customers have been piling up since Sunday.
Noong Sunday, hindi namin na-expect na mawawalan pala ng tubig. So ngayon, nagtanggap kami ng mga customers, paano namin patatakbuhin ng ayos to kung wala kaming tubig.
Residents from TS Cruz subdivision in Las Piñas, meanwhile, started lining up early morning for water. With no supply for more than 24 hours, they have no choice but to pay 2 to 5 pesos to fill their containers. So every time a Maynilad service vehicle passes by,
hindi na nga kami nakakatulog dahil nga nag-aabang ng tubig.
Sa ngayon, binigla nila ang mga tao rito sa Almanza 2, kaya hirap na hirap ang mga tao rito.
Maynilad, however, says,
Sa ngayon, yun lang yung paghahati-hatian ng mga customers natin. Ang nangyayari, nagpa-panic withdrawal yung iba eh. Kung lahat ng customers natin, ganun yung mindset, unfortunately, yung sa dulo niyan, wala nang makakarating na tubig.
to eliminate algae and increase production, the firm has started dousing their facilities with chemicals. Maynilad also clarifies customers from the West Zone are still not affected as allocation from Angat Dam still has not been reduced despite a decrease in its water level. Shaila Francisco, VR1 News.
Senator Cynthia Villar is now statistically tied on the top spot with fellow re-electionist Grace Poe in the latest Pulse Asia survey. However, Mar Rojas, who was the leading opposition bet in the previous surveys, is now out of Magic 12. Mayan Los Baños has more.
7 re-electionist senators made it to Pulse Asia's latest senatorial survey, conducted from April 10 to 14, that's barely a month before Election Day. Senator Cynthia Villar and Grace Poe shared the top spot, with Villar scoring slightly higher than Poe on voters' preference.
Ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa kanila at marahil nagugustuhan nilang akong iboto dahil nagugustuhan nila yung mga proyekto kong itinatayo para sa hanap buhay.
Poe dropped 22 percentage points from the previous Pulse Asia survey conducted in March, where she had 72.6% voters' preference. Poe, who is running as an independent candidate, thanked her supporters for their trust. Actor and former Senator Lito Lapid, who was positioned at the 5th to 8th spot in the previous Pulse Asia survey, had climbed to the 3rd to 4th spot. 10 candidates from the hugpong ng pagbabago are also included in the so-called winning circle. Among them are Pia Cayetano, Bongo, Sonny Angara, Bong Revilla, Bato de la Rosa, Coco Pimentel, Amy Marcos, Chingoy Estrada, and JV Ejercito. United Nationalist Alliance candidate Nancy Binay is at the 6th to 9th position. Bam Aquino was the lone opposition bet who made it to the winning circle in Pulse Asia's latest survey. While opposition bet Mar Rojas, who previously made it to the Magic 12, dropped to the 14th to 17th spot. Administration bet Francis Tolentino was already at the top 10 to 16 in the last survey, but dropped to the 15th to 17th spot. For presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo, the recent survey results only show the vast influence of the president on the electorate.
Ibig sabihin, yung mga tao naniniwala kay presidente. Naniniwala siya na ang mga tao na yung mga in-endorse niya, kailangan ni Presidente yon para tumulong sa kanya sa pagbabangon sa ating bansa.
Reporting for News 5, Mayan Los Baños, we are One News.
Vote buying in the country has been rampant every elections. While COMELEC tells the public to refuse any bribe, the country's top cop has a different advice. Patricia Mangude has the story.
Vote buying has been a chronic problem in every election. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde, however, has this advice to voters come election time.
Sabihin na natin pong nabigyan tayo ng pera, hindi natin maiwasan na tumanggap ng but then again, iboto pa rin natin kung sino ang nararapat. No, kung hindi po mabantayan ng pulisya yung sinasabing vote buying, tanggapin na lang siguro natin ang tanggapin yung yung pera, no? Pero iboto pa rin natin kung sino ang nararapat.
But the COMELEC stressed that voters should stand their ground and refuse money.
Do not take the money at all. and in all instances, vote according to your conscience. With all due respect to everyone saying differently, we believe that you should just say no to the bribe or to the vote buying attempt.
But the PNP later clarified that the statement of their chief was just a joke.
Well, yung naipahayag ni General Albayalde was made out of a jest, no? But seriously, we maintain, we have our campaign. Ang suhol, iwaksin natin, asin.
The PNP added anyone who is caught vote buying on election day will be arrested. For News 5, Patricia Mangune, we are One News.
Time now for some quick fire around the nation. Fire razed several areas in Quezon City on Tuesday afternoon. Over 100 residents of Barangay Baysa are now considered homeless after a 7-hour fire hit their land. Meanwhile, 80 families from Barangay Bahay Toro have been gutted in another fire that broke out. Respondents took a while to quell the flames due to the back-to-back incidents in the same city. Cebu Pacific is canceling nearly 160 round-trip flights until May 10. That's on the back of the budget carriers' disrupted operations, extended delays, and on-the-spot cancellations. Cebu PAC is now working with the airport authorities to restore normal operations as soon as possible. F2 Logistics puts an end to Petron's 17-game winning streak to take Game 1 of the PSL Grand Prix Finals on Tuesday. The Blaze Spikers caught fire in the third set, but Lindsay Stalzer swooped in to get 2 points off transition plays. This halted Petron's run, and F2s ran away with the W with 25-22, 16-25, 25-23, and 25-23. Meanwhile, PLDT outclassed Signal in an epic battle for bronze. The power hitters easily claimed the first 2 sets, looking ready to end their series in a lethal sweep. But the HD Spikers recovered in the next 2 sets before coming into the legendary 5th set, which closed to 19-17.